gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
Terry, do you have what it takes for this week?
I do. I'm all ready to go.
You're all fired up and ready. You two-fisted, too. Terry's ready. Get in the ring, baby. Gonna throw that left and that right like Errol Spence, huh? Break some orbital bones. There you go, Terry. That looks intimidating. I'm going to run now. So we're back to Monday, back to horse racing. We had a day off yesterday. Fun day on Saturday, talking about a limited number of stakes races. Yesterday, I put out on my Twitter feed at hrt.rich. I was telling Terry before the show got started. I haven't been as active on there as probably I want to be. I'm still learning. I don't know how to follow people yet. So maybe Sean can help me with that in terms of bringing, following people and so forth. But was it like a $40 pick six for 20 cents? Ended up paying $191. I was happy with that. Frustrated with my tournaments because to qualify, I should have won 5 out of 6 races. And then I get in the tournament and you fall face flat in the first 3 or 4 races and you're done.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. So, yeah, I didn't have a good day either. I played some cash tournaments yesterday, and Saturday I did really good. Sunday I did really bad. We have those days, though. I had
Maybe
one
we should be like Chick-fil-A and just rest on Sunday.
Yeah, I had one that it was 12 races, and through 9 races I had 0. And
hey, Jared, what's up, man? We missed you last week. All week,
Yeah.
Terry was going, where's Jared? Where's Jared? Where's Jared?
Yeah, well, he did.
Race 6 today at Parks. Live long shot for Jared. Number 2 horse. 7 long shot live. Number 1. Here's a pick 4 ticket for you. So this starts in what? Race 6, Jared? 1, 6, 7, 10, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 2, 8, 9, and 10. Do you have a horse to put on top of that? So for the Philly 5? If you do, let us know. Lionel, TM Hook, thank you for the early thumbs up on Facebook. We appreciate that. If you agree with them, go ahead and give us a thumbs up as well. Let's really run those ratios up this week, Terry.
That's right. Let's do that.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Well, the plan for today is to start, as always, at Turf Paradise. We will introduce a new track on Wednesday. It's one that we used to have in the rotation. We'll be working Indiana Downs on Wednesday, Terry. Looking forward to that.
Is it
Indiana Grand?
Yeah, but have they changed that name yet? I think they're going to change the name at Indiana Grand.
Whatever it is.
I don't know when.
The horses are still running at Indiana and Shelbyville, right?
That's right.
So today we're going to be running down at Turf Paradise. Should be another fun day at a track where a lot of, sometimes it's a little bit on the unpredictable side, I would say, Terry, right?
That's right.
Excuse me for 1 second while I reorganize my computer screen so that I can be organized and not completely lost throughout the entirety of the show, which is my normal state, right, Terry?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here we go. Now we're ready to go. So race 1 at Turf Paradise to kick off today. And Will Rogers, Daily Double. All right, so we got a Will Rogers, Jared Bush taking control, man. We'll take him pilot. Love it, Jared. He's got a Daily Double of race 1 and 2, 2, 4, 6, 7, 6, 2, and 1. Hopefully you bring that one home. All right, so race number 1, Terry, is 6.5 furlongs on the main course. And is a claiming 3,500 non-winners of 3 lifetime. And this is a purse of $10,990, Terry. Should we just chip in the 10 to make it an even 11,000, and then they can name it the Terry and Rich race?
Yeah, we could do that. It sounds. Yeah, I wonder if they would.
Yeah, I mean, for that. So I'm going to come out swinging today, Terry, with my long shot in this first race.
All right.
Just a quick profile of a winner at 6.5 furlongs on the Turf Paradise course, dirt track. 115 races at the meet, 85 won by speed, 46 went wire to wire. And if you wear an 8 or out, you get a slight bonus. Otherwise, everything else is about the same. I'm going to start off with Autism Can Do, the 7 horse. Showed a lot more interest in the later part of its last race, going wire to wire. And this horse has a pretty strong workout since. So I think this horse is on the upswing, Terry. It's going to look to get to the front in a race that should have a little bit of pace, though. So it might be the speed of the speed, which means it can discourage a lot of other horses and really only have to defeat a presser and a couple of closers. And it could maybe make it 2 wire-to-wire races in a row. Morning line, 5-1.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. How are you going to start Monday?
Okay, I like number 5 as my first pick, Talkin' Malice. He finished third versus similar in his last race after being wide throughout the race and received the highest last race speed rating. And the trainer wins 66% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse. And he has a trainer-jockey combination that in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5. And then my second pick is number 2, Colvito. He ran poorly in his last race after breaking slow and running wide throughout the race, but he drops in class today, and the trainer wins 18% of the sprint races that he has an entry in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 7 is my third pick, Autism Can Do. He won his last race at Turf Paradise. His best start speed is close to the average winning speed. And he has a trainer-jockey combination who in the last 14 days has been in the money 80% of the time, winning 2 of those. And then my fourth pick, Stanley Ryder. He closed to finish third versus similar in his last race at 6 furlongs. Now he stretches out to 6.5 furlongs. And I think that could only help as he has won at that distance in the past.
All right, so I told you that the 7-horse Autism Can Do is my long shot to start today. I'm going to start behind it with your first pick will be my second pick. That is Talkin' Malice. This horse has a lot of early pace to chase in this race and is the lone pressure closer. Well, it means it can stay close to the pace or it can come from way back. Last time out, it was faster by 1 second than it did in its previous race at the same distance, and had better early and mid-race numbers. Number 2, Colavito, seems to be, Terry, a better fit for me on all-weather or turf. If you look at most of its good races have been on one of those 2 surfaces, but you can't ignore the dropping 2 classes here because it's going to get a little bit easier competition than it's seen in a while. And horse does, when it run on dirt, have a pair of thirds in 3 races at the distance. And then finally, the Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes horse. How can you go against the Frosted? They're great horse, Terry. What's wrong with you, man?
No, I don't think you can. You just can't. That's for sure.
Absolutely not. Well, this horse is chasing. There's a lot of horses in this field that have some early speed, or as I mentioned, the 5-horse that can pressure or close. They're great is one of the few closers in this field, along with the number 3, which I don't really know it has much of a chance. So I probably just stamped its trip to the winner's circle. But number 6, they're great, has the best late pace figures in the field and ran 6 furlongs a second faster last time. Actually, this one actually is the speed of the speed, maybe too. I'm sorry, has the best EP numbers in the field. And last time out ran 6 furlongs faster in its last than it did in the final race before that. But my question is, with the 6 horses, it's got to get to the lead. It's got to stay on the lead. So forgive me, I can't read my own handwriting. If it's got the lead in the stretch, they're great wins. If it doesn't have the lead in the stretch, probably fades. And I think that's probably what you're going to see is the 6-horse get off to the lead. It's going to get a lot of pressure from the likes of the 7, from the 2, and then maybe fade at the end to 3rd or 4th, with the 7 being the one that takes the long shot home to start the day.
All right.
Wish I could read my own handwriting a little bit better. And the funny thing, it's typed, so it's even worse. All right, race number 2, Mr. Terry, is this one is a optional claiming $10,000 race, 6 furlongs. This is for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming starter, state bred, allowance, or trial, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price $10,000. A lot of going on there. For 6 furlongs at the Turf Paradise course, you better be fast because there's been 155 races. 116 of them were either 1st, 2nd, or 3rd at the quarter-mile marker. 54 went wire to wire. You do have a slight rail edge. You have a slight edge in posts 4 through 7 and a small penalty if you wear an 8 or out. And I like these days where I come out, Terry, swinging, because I typically have good days on those swing out days.
Right.
And today it's going to be race number 2 is my box it up. 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. And I'm going to start with Captain Scotty. Are you a Star Trek fan, Terry?
Yeah, I am.
That's where that's from, right? I don't want to get the Trekkies mad at me.
No, but my wife is even more of a fan than I am. So
I always get kind of mixed up between the Trekkie and the Star Wars fans, but I think Captain Scotty is Star Trek, right?
it is.
All right. So Captain Scotty did run better fractions last time out, so it was a little bit faster. If you look a little bit deeper in the PPs, you'll see this horse has major back class. It's run at the distance 13 times, managed to collect the first, second, or third place check in 9 of those. Did run the top last race speed figure and has a swift workout sense. This is a $75,000 horse. It's in for the claim today, Terry, which is a little concerning to me, which is probably the only reason I didn't make the 3-horse my best bet of the day.
Mm-hmm.
At number 7, the Union Brother is not in for a claim here. Run at Turf Paradise 18 times, finished first, second, or third, so collected one of those bronze, silver, or gold medals 14 of the 18 times. Last time out was the public's choice, didn't win. Trainer Jose Silva does rebound at 21% the next time around the track with the beaten favorite, which is much better than his overall win rate of 14%. Baltimore Bicho, number 1, did run faster in its last race than it did the previous race. Does have the top early pace and late pace combination in the field, which has been a highly effective angle, I've noticed, since Charles questioned me on that data. And then this horse also has Baltimore Bicho. The last 10 races, it's run 8, which I call high quality. So that means basically if things had gone a little bit different, it would have had a chance to win. And finally, number 2, Huntington's Rhythm. This horse is getting a major upgrade to the jockey that one of the 2 jockeys there, a few that dominates the Turf Paradise course. That's Mr. Harry Hernandez, double H's. This is another horse that ran faster last time out, despite going a half a furlong longer. Has a decent workout since being claimed for trainer Raymond Valiero, who has a $3.53 positive ROI in 3 races with double H.
All right. Well,
A
I
lot
like
of boxes there, right?
There is, yeah. So my first pick in this race is number 7, Union Brother. You know, he's finished in the money in the last 7 races, and he's won 3 of those at Turf Paradise. And as you said, the trainer wins 20% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back. And he actually has a really good jockey, Fasto de Selvia. Won 21%.
Something like that.
Yeah, won 21% of his races so far. And then I like number 2, Huntington's Rhythm. He likes the track distance. He's been in the money 33% of the time and winning 17% of those races. And he likes the track. And then he likes the distance. It's in his wheelhouse, as he's finished in the money 62% of the time, and he's won 38% of those races. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, who in the last 7 days has won 9 out of 32 starts and actually been in the money 19 times. And he has a good 4 furlong workout on April 11th, 47 handling, 4th best of 20. Then I like number 3, Captain Scotty. He ran second versus similar in his last race and only missed by a neck. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and he has a good workout on April 12th of 47 handling. And then I like number 1, Baltimore Bicho. He ran second in his last race at Turf Paradise, and he's having a good year, finishing in the money 80% of the time this year, and he's won 40% of those races, and the trainer wins 18% of the time when he has an entry in a dirt start.
It's a good winning percent there, Terry, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Race number 3. Nice, zwei, drei in German. So I can count to 10 in like three different languages: English, German, and Spanish. Terry,
Oh,
that's about it for my lingualism. So this one's 1 mile. Get used to 1 mile today. There's going to be a lot of races today at Turf Paradise where they go one time around the track. This one's claiming 3,500 non-winners of 2 lifetime for 3 years old and up, which have never won 2 races. So they kept the race conditions pretty simple on this one. At a mile, if you want to know what the profile of a winner looks like, which is a kind of, I think, important to get a sense of how you're or where you want your horse to be. They ran 163 races, Terry, at a mile so far. 106 have gone won by either being first, second, or third at the first call. 31, so not a big percentage, went wire to wire. So it looks to me like tactical speed is probably more important than just straight out get out of here speed. This case, you get a small rail penalty. And you're going to start it off with number 6, High Flying Tiger. I guess that horse should have ran with They're Great and would have been a great race with High Flying Tiger and They're Great.
yeah, that would have been really good. Well, he tried turf in his last race. He didn't care for it, as it appears. So he's back now on the dirt track, and he has a trainer who wins 36% time when he drops a horse down 2+ classes, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Then number 5, By Moonlight. He finished third versus similar in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 7, Ellie the Nurse. He has had a couple of mediocre races, but so has many of the other entries in this race. The difference is during his career, he's won a higher percentage race than any of the other entries. And then the jockey in the last 7 days has done, as I said before, 9 out of 32 starts. And the trainer wins 33% of the time when he takes a horse from a sprint to a route. Then my 4th pick is Shake Lost Destiny. He does well at the track, finishing in the money 57% of the time, and likes the distance. He's finished in the money 61% of the time.
Well, we're going to start with the Nurse, Ellie the Nurse. So a horse is going to stretch out for the first time and could have a strong early pace advantage here. Looking at a couple of these races on the card today, Terry, there's a few of them that have some very peculiar race shapes. I'm going to say peculiar, but where it seems like there might be a few horses that might not be the best horses in the race, but because the way the race shapes up, because you got either, in this particular case, you have 2 horses, the 2 and the 7. So Shakeless Destiny and Ellie the Nurse, that are early pace horses that like to get to the front or have won when, they have ones across the board. And then everybody else is a closer. So, the 2 or the 7, whichever one gets out to the front, should have the opportunity here to run as long as the fractions are right, they can win these races pretty easily. So this might be a race. I know I don't have the 2 in my picks because the 7 horse does have the top early pace numbers in the field. So I do think it's going to get the jump on the 2. But you might think about doing some kind of an exacta here where you do 7-2 all or all 2-7. And I think one of those 2 horses probably has a really good shot to win, if not maybe finish second. Number 6, your first pick, my second pick, the High Flying Tiger, does have a jockey change here to Jose Zunino, who has a $1.52 positive ROA with trainer Esteban Martin, who hits at 30%. So 6 out of the last 20 times that the horse has made a second start off the claim for him. And as you already mentioned, Mr. Martin is dropping the horse 2 classes where he's won 4 out of the 11 times he's tried that angle. By Moonlight ran the top last race speed figure. It is one that I expect continue to walk up that ladder, as even though he ran the top last race speed figure, it's not as high as some of his back class. So I'm not so concerned about a bounce there. There's actually headroom for that horse to continue moving along that path. And probably not a very popular name for a horse nowadays, but Rise Up Moscow. I almost didn't put it in there because of its name, considering the political environment. But
yeah,
the horse does, of all these late comers, it has the top late pace figures in this group. It's the second mount for jockey Michael Ybarra. The last time was a sprint. Today is a route where Michael has a $2.09 positive ROI in his last 19 races. So it looks like Michael Ybarra, maybe not the best sprint jockey at Turf Paradise, but boy, you put him at a route and the man makes you some money. So that's kind of what you're looking for.
all right.
Hello, Charles. Hope you had a good Easter weekend. And we're off to the Easter Monday to see if indeed we can have a good start to this particular week. Terry, I know the weather around here is terrible. It's like 35 degrees in Chicago,
Oh,
cold, snowy, rainy. It's just, spring, baby. I love it in Chicago. So race 4 is your Box It Up. Again, this is another mile race. We just talked about the fact that tactical speed is probably the way to go. This one's a optional claiming of $20,000 with a purse of $26,740. This is for 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races other than maiden, claiming, starter, state bred, or trial, or which have never won 4 races, or a claiming price of $20,000. As I mentioned, it's your Box It Up, Terry. So we're getting the Box It Ups out of the way early this day.
Yeah, we are, and I like to find Box It Ups where doesn't look like there's going to be a really, hard favorite. And the prices in here look pretty even. So I start out with number 2, Astronomical. He finished in the money in his last 3 races, winning the last race and getting the highest last speed rating, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance. The trainer wins 100% of the time when he drops a horse off a win, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 6 out of 8 races, been in the money 8 times out of 18. I'm sorry, 6 out of 18 races he's won. And then number 1, Perfect Wager. He ran second versus similar in his last race at Turf Paradise and at today's distance. He has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 14 days has won 50% of his mounts. And his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 3, The Beat. He finished in the money in 4 of his last 5 races, winning 2 of the races and finishing third in his last race. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, high percentage winning trainer, and the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 11 out of 15 times, winning 4 of those races. And then number 7, Sebastian's Boy. It's my 4th pick. He won his last race at Turf Paradise, and at today's distance, he has a good trainer and a decent workout.
All right, so that's Terry's Box It Up. Again, 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Hopefully, Terry's Box It Up and my Box It Up brings back some nice bucks to start this week, right?
Be nice, yes.
That would be absolutely right. Yes, to get off to a good start, to set the tone for the rest of the week. I'm going to set the tone with number 1, Perfect Wager in race number 4, Terry. Jonathan Wong takes Harry Hernandez off the number 6 horse here, which is kind of interesting to me because he rode the 6 horse 3 races in a row. And now he's putting, so you got one of the top trainers there with one of the top jockeys. Harry's never run on the 1 horse before. So something tells me that Jonathan Wong thinks the 6 horse has peaked and likes the 1 in a little bit better spot here. So just trying to kind of read the trainer's thinking for putting a different jockey on it and the top jockey. Number 7, Sebastian's Boy, is one of 2 e-horses. So again, this is another one of those races where most of the horses want to be towards the back of the race. You have the 1, 3, the 4, the 5, which are closers. The 2 can press and close. And then the 6 and the 7 are the only ones that want to get towards the front. I think the 7 gets the better of the 6, especially when I consider the Jonathan Wong, Harry Hernandez jockey change. So again, though, this might be a race where you take the 7 and the 6, just in case I'm wrong on the early pace projection between the 7 and the 6. Put them in an exacta box with all, so all 6-7, 6-7 all, and maybe you catch a price on the front or the back end and end up with a nice ticket. Sebastian Boy, as I mentioned, is one of 2 e-horses in the field, has the top early pace numbers. That's why I feel like it's going to get the advantage over the 6 horse. If the fractions are right, Sebastian's Boy will go wire to wire here. And number 2, Astronomical. I wanted to rank this horse higher, but it's raced at 7 2 of the last 3 races and finished behind it both times. So until it shows it can beat the 7, and especially since the 7 has a major race shape advantage over the 2, I think the 7 will get the better of the 2 once again in here. And then finally, the Beat is dropping a little bit in class. Does, of all the closers, have the best late legs? And I'm expecting it to be firm, fit, and more prepared to run because it's had 2 workouts where the rest of them really haven't had any workouts since the last race on February the 21st. Tonight, Terry, of course, Sean and I return with Horse Center at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to check that out, and jockey Brianne Culp, she'll be joining us tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern over at Horse Center. So in order to make sure you don't miss that, she's been running at Oaklawn Park Fairgrounds, so she's probably off right now. We'll talk a little bit about where she plans on going, and where she's going to take her skill set next. It should be a fun show. I'm looking forward to the young jockey joining us. Yeah. And if you want to check that out, make sure you subscribe to our social sites at Horse Race Today. You see it down there for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow me at HRT Rich. It makes it pretty simple. And then, of course, subscribe while you're here on YouTube. That'll make sure that Sean will let you know when we're about to go live. If I remember to tweet it out, I will as well. But I will be tweeting out some stuff today in terms of these peculiar race shapes, at least a couple of them, so you can see what I'm talking about. You'll find those graphics over at my Twitter feed at hrt.rich. And I'm going to try to put different things up that we don't talk about here or talk about with Sean, some insights in some particular races. I might stay away from sports betting because I think I'm 0 for 5 right now, and that's not good.
Yeah.
So race number 4 also concludes the early pick 4, Terry. So our hot dog pick 4. I did hit a hot dog pick 4 on Saturday. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But you're going to go 2. You're going to start off with 3-3 and then go 2-2. I'm going to make the I don't know what you want to call it. Kind of looks like I don't know what it looks like, but I'm going to go 2-3-3-2. Well, I think this. Yeah, you're right. It got a lot of meat hanging over. This is not a where's the beef sandwich, Terry. They're a real hamburger right there.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, so there you have our hot dog pick 4s to start this week. Terry and I both staying under budget at $18, going the traditional route of 18, 2, 3, and 2 in some order. So let's get back to the races. Race number 5, Terry, the start of the second pick 4, the late pick 4. This one is 6 furlongs, optional claiming. This one looks like it's a pretty good race here, Terry. It's $50,000 race with a purse of $25,000. Which is kind of weird because usually you see the purses more than the horses. But this one is for fillies and 3-year-olds, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, starter, or trial, which have never won 2 races or claiming price $50,000. 6 furlongs, Terry, a quick rundown. 155 races, 116 won by speed, 54 going wire to wire. You have a slight edge if you run in posts 4 through 7, and a small penalty if you wear an 8 or above. You stole my best bet today because I was going to make this one mischeck my best bet, but you did it, so I can't follow your path.
Oh well. Well, yeah, I like mischeck. She's won 2 out of 4 break career races, and she won her last one at Turf Paradise and at today's distance. And she has the highest last speed rating, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer and a jockey who in the last 7 days has this record: 32 starts, 9 wins, 3 seconds, and 7 thirds. Then I like as my second pick, number 4, Ellie Can Play, and I wonder if she will today. But anyway, she won her debut race at Turf Paradise easily, and her best start speed is close to the average winning speed. Then I like number 7 as my third pick, Smiling Salsa. She won her last race at Turf Paradise and has a high percentage winning trainer who's winning at a 20% clip. And then I like number 5 as my fourth pick, Andy Did It. She likes Addie Did It. She likes Turf Paradise, finishing in the money 3 out of 3 starts, finishing third versus similar in her last race. And she switches to a high percentage jockey who in the last 7 days has won 6 out of 18 races. The trainer wins 29% of the time in sprints.
So we also have we had Skylar, the jockey down there for Tampa Bay, Jared. She said you have to pay attention to the tides there. When the tide is high, speed works. And when the tide is low, closers work. So, and if you, she really had a lot of like little interesting tidbits about running at Tampa Bay Downs. But actually, if you Google, there is a tide chart, and you can overlay the tide chart on the races. And maybe that'll give you a little bit of an edge that a lot of other people, and I had never heard that before, but apparently that's common knowledge down there amongst the jockey colony. So when you're doing Tampa, take the tide chart, lay it over the races. And when the tide is high, you want to go fast. When the tide is low, you want to go slow. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
We'll see if I probably got that backwards, but I'll have to go rewind that show and see what she said. You can always go back to our channel and look up that show and see what Skylar had to say about the tide there. So we're on race number 5 where you stole my best bet, Terry. And I marked it down and I said to myself, I don't care if Terry takes it, I'm going to take it anyway. But this horse beat many of these raced against many of these horses last time out and beat them easily.
Yeah.
The 6 furlong time was more than a second faster than the previous 6 furlong run. So I'm kind of curious why the morning line's only 5-2, which I don't think this horse is going off 5.
No, I think it'd be more like 4-5.
Yeah, I think this horse will be even money at best. I mean, this is one of those, if they had the fixed odds in the United States and you got, say, 8-5 or better, I would take it. Number 4, Ely Can Play. Has some of the better early pace and late pace numbers, winning in her debut with ease. I'm a little bit concerned about that next race coming out at one of the higher levels here at Turf Paradise. But the fact that the horse showed that it can run on the front end and on the back end gives me a little bit of confidence that she'll be able to compete here. Addie Did It. Jockey switched to Luis Negron. The horse is better across the board last time out. So the horse ran a better race from start to finish and gets a better jockey this time around. So I'm expecting Addie Did It to continue on the upward trajectory. And then closing it out with number 3, Roses for Suzette. Was a pretty tough call for me over number 6, Autism Prison. But this horse, of all the horses that are between those two horses, broke its maiden at a higher level than the 6 and did run much better fractions last time out. Race number 6 is a 1 mile optional claiming $10,000 race, Terry, for a purse of $25,130. Fillies and mares 3 years old and up, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming starter, state bred allowance, or trial, or which never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $10,000. This one is your long shot. You're going to go with the rail horse here, North of Eden.
That's right. I like North of Eden. Number 1, she has finished in the money in 8 of her last 10 races. She's won 3 of those. She likes the distance, finishing in the money 78% of the time, winning 17% of those races. And then she likes the track where she's finished 100% of the time and winning 33% of those races. Then number 7, Miss You Mom. She has ran second in her last 2 races and switches to a high percentage winning trainer who's winning at a 23% clip. Number 6 is my third pick, Midnight Garden. North of Eden, she ran 5th in her last race against tougher foes and now is back in a class of horses where she can perform better. She's won 2 or 3 races in that class. She has a trainer who wins 28% of the time in dirt starts and a jockey who in the last 7 days has the record of 18 starts, 6 wins, 2 seconds. And then I like number 8, Smooth Rhythms. She is a speed demon, leading all the way to her win in her last race by almost 10 lengths at Turf Paradise. At today's distance, and she received the highest last speed rating. She has a trainer who wins 26% of the time the first race after claiming a horse.
As you mentioned, trainer Juan Silva does hit at 27% versus 18% overall the first time he's claimed a horse. This is another one of those quirky charts to me here today, Terry. The 8 horse is the lone E-horse, the lone speed horse, the lone that can get to the front and win. Everybody else is either a presser or a closer. So those pressers, a lot of times, if they're not close enough, they get discouraged. I think Smooth Rhythms has a really good chance here as the lone speed horse to get fractions that are really comfortable and go wire to wire. 6, Midnight Garden is another horse that's making a first-time start off the claim, this time for trainer Justin Evans, who is one of the top trainers down here. And he's dropping the horse back to a level where the horse has won most recently. In fact, that was the last time the horse had won. Number 1, North of Eden, finished second in her last 3 races on dirt, all of which were at a mile. So unfortunately, Terry, your long shot has a history of hanging at the end of the races. It might give you some hope just to dash your heart right at the last second.
Yeah.
And then finally, number 4, big news is coming. Terry, maybe we'll have some big news coming, I hope, one of these days. This horse, of all the closers, does have the top late pace numbers in the field and does get the jockey upgrade here today to Harry Hernandez, who rode Big News Coming one time previously. And guess where they ended up in that race, Terry?
Well, they won.
They absolutely did. They found their way into the winner's circle. Race number 7 is 1 mile, optional claiming $4,000, 4 years old and up, which have never started for a claiming price of $3,000 or less in one of their last 5 starts. And just a quick recap on the profile of a winner for 1 mile. They had 163 races, 106 won by speed, tactical speed, most often, because only 31 of those 163 went wire to wire. You do get a small rail penalty, and you're going to start off. And I think this race, Terry, is probably the most wide open race on the card, because if you look at this, it's 11 horses in here. I think there's 10 horses in here. The 11 horses is also entry. But if you look at like the top 6 horses, they've all raced against each other and have gone back and forth between who wins. So it's tough to really get a beat on which one's going to get the better of them all today. I don't even have the 6, and it's your top pick. That's how competitive it is.
It is very competitive. I like number 6, Conquest Cobra. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, missing by only a neck at Turf Paradise and at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then number 7, Angelo's Pride. He finished in the money in his last 4 races, and he won one of those. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and a high percentage winning jockey. And then number 3, Perfect Comeback. He has won 2 of the last 3 races and has the highest last speed rating and a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days has won 9 out of 32 races. And then number 9, Blame It on Kitty. He won his last race at Turf's Paradise at today's distance and has a high.
And number 9? I don't think you're on the right race, Terry.
I'm not. Aren't we on 7th race?
Yeah, you have 6, 7, 3, 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Number 2, Blame It on Kitty.
You said number 9. All right, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, as I said, he won at Turf Paradise at today's distance and has a high percentage winning trainer who in the last 14 days has a record of 9 starts, 3 wins, 1 second, 1 third. And the reason I said number 9 is that was my alternate pick.
All right. Well, it's a good reason. So for me, number 3, Perfect Comeback, is a horse that's this close to winning 5 races in a row. Did show much better interest in the late race numbers last time out. What I also like to see here is last race was the 3rd race in a row where the horse ran a mile. In each consecutive race, the actual final time went down. So you can see in time that this horse is getting better race to race to race. Number 2, Blame It on Kitty, won its last, showing some early pace improvement. So the first half mile, the horse ran better than it normally does and has the best late pace figures in the field. Number 1, Kona Coast, is the lone e-horse in this race. And this is another one where you have kind of like a goofy setup in the race where you have a e-horse, one that can run on the lead or likes to play co-pilot, a couple like the pressure, and just about everybody else wants to be at the back of the pack, at least most of the favorites. So again, I think the one horse Kona Coast could benefit, not necessarily from being the best horse in the field, but can get to the lead. I know last time out, the horse blew a tire at the end of the race. But if you rewind a little bit in the past performances, you'll see that the horse does sometimes blow a tire at the end of a race, especially if it gets pressured. I don't see a whole lot of pressure here on Kona Coast today. Maybe the 8-horse pressures it a little bit. But the last time the horse really kind of bombed out at the back half of a race, it came back to win the next race. So I'm able to strike a line through that and say that, okay, the horse can rebound, something it's done in the past. Number 7, Angelo's Pride, was a tough call for me over your 6, Conquest Cobra. The difference to me was number 7, Angelo's Pride, has been in the money in 6 races at Turf Paradise with 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. So 5 out of 6. Missed as the favorite in the last time out. And as we mentioned a little bit before, trainer Jose Silva does rebound at 21% versus an overall win rate of 14% when he comes back with a horse that disappointed as the public's choice. Loney Diddley, if it breaks well, I agree with you. It's there's a couple like that today on the card that don't necessarily grade out as the best horse in the field, and they concern me throughout. So, like you have in race number 3, the 2 and the 7, race number 4, the 6 and the 7 is being lone speed. Race 5 is a little bit different because race 5, you have the 1, the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 7 that are E horses, and then the 5, which is can pilot or co-pilot, and then the 3 horse is the only one that'll sit off the back there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the 3 horse do pretty well in that race. Again, in the last race, race 6, the 8 horse stands out as lone speed based on the race shape, on how horses have won before. And then you have the 1 horse here in race number 7. And race 8 is really another race kind of like that, except I do think this one has a chance to be a little bit faster. You have a couple of speed horses in the 6 and the 7 in race number 8, a bunch that like the presto behind it. So if some of those pressers decide to get a little bit frisky and go for the lead, you can get a pretty good pace, especially at a 5 furlong race where they've run 55 races, Terry, 39 of which were won by speed, 21 going to wire. You have the rail getting a little bit of an advantage. There's an inside 3 advantage. And this race to close out the show, Terry, is one of our favorites. It's a maiden claiming 12,005 for a purse of 14,140. So claiming 12.5 at Turf Paradise is probably a really anything can happen race. And of course, in the anything can happen race, Terry, what do?
Oh, you always miss out because you always don't use your second pick or your 4th pick, whatever it is.
Well, in this case, I'm making it my best bet in the anything can happen race. Miss
Okay.
Rebecca, the 9 horse, did run the top last race speed figure. This horse is going to be making Miss Rebecca is going to be making her 3rd start off a layoff. And if you look back at the previous 2-3 race cycles, you'll find that the horse has either improved or essentially ran the same race that ran the race before. So if Miss Rebecca can repeat, has a shot to beat the pretty heavy morning line favorite, Paint the Kitty, who is the 6 horse, Terry. And maybe in the last race when you're talking about your alternative 9, you had your eye out on race number 8 as well.
Could be. I like number 9, Miss Rebecca, just like you do. And I almost made her my best bet of the day. So that was kind of odd. She has finished 2nd in her last 4 races out of 5 races and earned the highest last speed rating. She switches to a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days has won 9 out of 32. And then number 6 is my second choice, Payment the Kitty. She ran 2nd in her last race, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. The trainer wins 30% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to the races, and the shorter distance could help this filly. And then I like number 3, Snoozy Susie. She say that 4 times or 5 times. Anyway,
That.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. She ran 2nd in her last 2 races, likes the distance, finishing the money 46% of the time, and likes the track where she's finishing the money 50% of the time. And then number 7, Keep On Rockin' Me Baby.
Rockin' Me Baby. That's from Steve Miller Band, right?
I think so, yeah.
Keep on rocking me, baby, baby. Anyway, go ahead. A lot of babies and rockins in that song.
That's correct. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened in her last race as she finished 7th by 25 lengths, but she's had a bullet workout since then, a 1 minute flat, which appears to be that she just didn't want to run in that last race. And the shorter distance may be just what she needs.
Charles is absolutely right. This is the, what do they call it? I can't be Murphy's Law of horse racing. If you pick all in a race, you can absolutely circle the favorite because it's going to win by like secretariat dominance. Seems to be the case. Not for Terry. Terry picks all and like the bombs come in. I pick all and I get a 3 to 5 that's not run a race in 6 years and comes back to win.
You got to make sure you pick the right race. I usually do it in maiden claimings,
which is what we have right here.
Yeah.
A 6, Paint the Kitty, is going to be the favorite this time. It was the favorite last time, and it didn't win then either. Trainer Van Belvoort does rebound at 31% when he brings a beaten favorite back to the track. That compares to 16% overall. Well, horse does have the top early pace in the field of pressure horses, some closers, and then a few others that have really never been close. So the 6 can get to the front. get the right fractions, and maybe finally make good as a favorite. Number 1, Wump Mug. Whatever a Wump Mug is, I don't know. It sounds like some kind of bug or something. But this horse gets to ride the high win rate rail, does have a little bit of giddy up and go in her genes. But this horse, probably the single most biggest reason I'm putting this horse third is it is taking the biggest class drop in the field for maiden optional claiming. It's the first time the horse is running straight maiden claiming. So I expect that you'll see the one horse improve. And then finally, Keep On Rocking Me, Baby. The Steve Miller Band horse is the only other E-horse with the 6 horse. Taking a small drop. You're right, last time out, blew a tire, but seems to be more interested this time around because it has a bullet workout since that last race. And again, I like to look back at the cycles of a horse. And I noticed the last time the horse was in a 4-race cycle, the 3rd race was kind of too. And then the horse came back with a sharp effort and ran the best of its 4 races in the 4-race cycle in the 4th spot. So if cycles repeat, history, as Shakespeare said, I think it was Shakespeare said, right? History doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. So I'm hoping that the 7 horse can rhyme here.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to our final pick 4 of the day, our prime rib. And you decided to go top heavy with 5 and 5. And I feel like, Terry, I don't know, man, that you have your best bet in race number 5. And then race number 6, I agree with you. There's a little bit of well, I think it was race number 7 where I feel like it's the most open race on the card. Race number 6 is a pretty open race. I agree with you. You got your long shot on top there. And then you're closing it out in that maiden claiming with just 2 horses.
Yeah, and that's because, as I said, that 9 horse, I was going to make that my best bet before I decided to go back to the number 1 in the 5th race. So,
Well, I'm going to go 3 because I feel like that 1 horse, I agree with you, Terry, I almost made it my best bet. I almost only went 2 horses deep there, but I figured I'd throw the 5 in. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 5, 3. Mine's $90. I'm staying under budget today, Terry. Yours is 100, right on the number. So hopefully we can come back and bring something home there. Race 8 seemed like 2, 3, 4, 5 to me. All right, Jared, well, at Parks, not at Turf Paradise. All right, glad to see that. We're on Jared's got 4 completely different horses. They're going to be a little bit nervous there, Terry.
yeah, yeah, but they're talking about Parks, and I think one other track I think they were talking about. So,
well, tomorrow, yeah, they're talking about Parks, and I think he did a little Will Rogers pick early double there for Jared.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll be doing Parks. We were going to do the Parks pick 5 as a bonus today, but unfortunately, well, it's the way life goes, right? Yesterday was Easter, so there's family stuff to do, and just really didn't have the time to get prepared for both. So tomorrow, we are going to do Parks same time tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern, and included in our Parks picks, we'll have our hot dog pick 4. We'll have our prime rig pick 4, but we'll also stack another horse on top of that so that we can do the Philly 5 tomorrow as well at Parks. Play a daily double, race 7. Parks says E.F. Houghton. You want to put that 6, soloing the 6 over to 2, 3, 4, and 5, according to Charles. So, again, if you have any picks or you like anything particular at a track, this is a community show. All thoughts and ideas are welcome. Don't be shy. Get your ideas out there, because if you help people make money, we all appreciate that. Right, Terry?
That's right. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Horse Race 2, the number 2, not thumb, number 2 day. Like us on Facebook at Horse Race number 2 day, and Instagram at Horse Race number 2 day. And your Instagram, what is that?
Well, no, I'm not Instagram. I'm Twitter at
Okay.
HRT Rich. So Horse Racing Today, abbreviated HRT
Rich.
Rich. So today, is the opening day today at Mountaineer Park. So if you're going to bet Mountaineer today, head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description there at YouTube. Please click on that, or head over to horseracingtoday.net. Click on any Guaranteed Tip Sheet link there. It helps us get some credit. And the last time we got together, Terry, on Saturday, Golden Gate was the free track of the day. And I played a hot dog pick 4 at the end of that using I think I went 2-3-3-2 or 2-3-2-3, something like that. $18 pick 4 that ended up paying $510 or something like that.
It did, absolutely, yeah. I was playing a bunch of tournaments over there, and I won 4 out of 5 tournaments there. So,
So if you do head on over to those free picks and they do plan out for you, do us another favor to help support the show by heading on over to horseracingtoday.net. Click on the HRT gear. Get yourself the nice purple 10. The summer's coming. The weather's about to warm up everywhere in the northern hemisphere, except for apparently Chicago. I'll be rocking this purple 10 once it gets through the washing machine a couple of times, so it's not that really stiff cotton, Terry.
looks good.
Yes, it'll be nice summertime colors, Terry. We got to start getting those summertime colors prepared.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, last thing before we go, let's just run through our full card picks. There you see our full card Turf Paradise picks. Keep in mind that the scratches were not announced before we went live. Terry does have his alternative picks available over at Horse Racing Today, where we will recap the show today with all of our picks and notes in written form. So that is, you'll see Terry's best bet is in race number 5. Mine is in race number 9. My long shot kicks off the card, race number 1 with the 7. Terry likes the 1 horse in race number 6. I'm going to box him up in race 2. So let's go ahead and pull the box him ups real quick again. 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. I'm race 2. Terry's race 4. Then we have our hot dog pick 4 starting in race 1. And then our prime rib pick 4 in race number 5. Fortunately, there is no race of death today, Terry. So we can just keep on trucking and then be like a closer if we miss one along the way.
Sounds great to me. So
absolutely. Any final thoughts before we get up out of here on Monday and return tomorrow for Parks?
Oh yeah, just I hope things in Europe come to a conclusion. They quit fighting over there. It's very depressing and it's really bad. But for everybody else, I hope the rest of the week's good for you and that you win if you're betting at the races and you win in everything else in life that you're trying to do. And then, give your loved ones a hug and a kiss.
Absolutely. And, in this Easter spirit, treat others like you want to be treated, like we ended the show on Saturday. I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. If you want respect, act respectful. If you don't want to be a jerk, then expect people to treat you like one. That's only fair, right?
Yep. That's
all right, Terry, that wraps up Monday. I'm looking forward to tonight again with Sean at 8 o'clock with young jockey Breon Cup. Make sure you join us for that. I'm sure that's going to be an insightful show. I'm looking forward to that. Again, as always, we hope everybody has a fantastic week, a fantastic Monday, whether you're betting Jared's picks, Charles' picks, our picks, guaranteed tip sheets picks, or your own picks today. We hope that they and your day in general ends up in our good friend, Jay Marcos'
winner circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Monday, everybody. We'll see you tonight.